7 years. For some people, that's an entire chapter of life. For Cardi B, it's the story of a marriage that the world watched in real time, from flashy highs to painful lows. Now that it's over, fans and critics alike have rushed to call it a mistake, but Cardi refuses to accept that label. In her own words, it was never a waste of time, and that's the surprising part. In an industry obsessed with drama, Cardi is flipping the script. Instead of painting herself as a victim or burying the past, she's owning it. The way she talks about those years, about being a wife, a mother, and a partner in chaos, tells us she's rewriting the definition of success and love. But behind that bold perspective lies a complicated story filled with separation, rumors, lyrical confessions, and a divorce battle that's still dragging on. So why does Cardi B see her marriage to Offset as valuable, even after everything? The answer isn't simple, and the truth might surprise you. Section 1. Reframing her marriage. When Cardi sat down for her Call Her Daddy interview in September 2025, the question wasn't whether her marriage was dramatic. Everyone knows it was. The real question was how she felt about giving 7 years of her life to something that ultimately didn't last. Many expected bitterness. Instead, she gave honesty. She admitted there were regrets. There were moments she'd rather erase, choices she'd rethink. But regret doesn't equal wasted time. For Cardi, the marriage gave her experiences she couldn't trade for anything. The joy of becoming a wife, the reality of raising children in a family unit, and the lessons that come when love collides with fame. "I see what comes with being a wife, being a mom," she said, and that's the line that stood out. To her, those experiences, even the painful ones, were part of growth. Without that marriage, she wouldn't have the same strength, same perspective, or the same music that now pours out of her. Cardi has always been raw and unfiltered, but this moment showed something different. She wasn't just a rapper dishing gossip. She was a woman explaining that not all broken relationships are failures. Sometimes, they're the classrooms where we learn the hardest lessons. Section 2, cracks in the foundation. But let's not pretend the cracks weren't there. Cardi herself admitted that there were long stretches of silence in her marriage. Months where she and Offset barely spoke, where distance became their normal. For outsiders, the couple often looked like they were thriving. Red carpets, family vacations, matching fits. Behind the scenes, the silence was deafening. She even described her body physically rejecting the relationship, feeling sick, drained, almost as if her health was signaling the truth she wasn't ready to say out loud. That's a powerful detail, because it shows just how much emotional weight can turn into something physical. Her body knew before her mind admitted this love was done. Fans had noticed tension long before Cardi spoke about it. There were rumors swirling for years about Offset's infidelity, cryptic posts on social media, and sudden disappearances where the couple seemed to vanish from each other's lives. Cardi never confirmed all of them, but the speculation was constant. Every breakup rumor became a trending topic. And in hindsight, her words about those silent months make those rumors look a lot less far-fetched. Section 3, repeated endings. This wasn't a one-and-done breakup. Cardi's marriage to Offset played out like a roller coaster, with multiple breakups, reconciliations, and very public drama. In 2020, Cardi filed for divorce for the first time. Fans thought it was over for good, but just months later, they were spotted back together. They reconciled, insisting that love sometimes demands second chances. Cardi herself explained at the time that she missed him, that the heart doesn't always follow logic. But reconciliation doesn't erase the past. Old problems have a way of returning, and for Cardi and Offset, they did. By late 2023, she confirmed they were separated again, and in July 2024, she officially filed for divorce a second time. For many, this was the point of no return. She'd given the marriage not one but 2 chances, and both had ended the same way. That's why her perspective now, refusing to call it wasted, is so surprising. Most people would look back with anger or embarrassment. Cardi instead talks about those years as necessary. Painful, yes. Exhausting, absolutely, but not meaningless. Section 4, the divorce standoff. Here's where things get even messier. Cardi revealed that even though she filed for divorce in 2024, it still isn't finalized. Why? Because Offset is allegedly holding things up with financial demands. According to her, he's using issues like taxes and property as leverage. Cardi described it as feeling held hostage in the divorce process. It's the kind of behind closed doors battle that most couples would never talk about publicly. But Cardi put it out there. That transparency fueled even more conversation online, with fans speculating about how much money was at stake, or whether Offset was trying to punish her by dragging things out. This detail changes the way people see the breakup. It's not just about love lost. It's also about power, money, and control. Cardi may be one of the biggest names in music, but even she admits that untangling finances from a long marriage is brutal. And when kids are involved, the stakes get even higher. Section 5. The pain in her music. If you really want to know how Cardi feels, you only need to listen to her music. Her latest album, Am I the Drama, carries the weight of everything she's been through. ... On the track, Manny Your Word, she gets brutally honest. She admits to putting her music above her marriage, to missing the signs that her partner was hurting. But she also makes it clear that Offset broke promises. When Gayle King read those lyrics aloud, the moment was raw. 7 years, I admit, it wasn't all bad, but I really do wish you the best. If I had one wish, I wish you would have been a man of your word. Those lines hit harder because fans had watched the relationship crumble in real time. Every rumor, every reconciliation, every public fight, it was all there in the music. Cardi turned her heartbreak into art, the way great rappers always do. But she didn't just use the music to call him out. She used it to release her own guilt. Admitting mistakes isn't easy, especially when millions of people are ready to pick apart every line. But Cardi owned it, proving that music can be more than entertainment. It can be therapy. Section 6, her life now. What about today? Cardi insists she doesn't hold hate in her heart anymore. That doesn't mean things are peaceful. She admitted that Offset seems to still hold resentment, and that co-parenting isn't easy, but she's clear about her goals, raising their children in peace, not in conflict. Their kids, Culture, Wave, and Little Blossom, remain her top priority. Cardi has made it clear she doesn't want them growing up, caught in the middle of adult battles. That's why she speaks about co-parenting as her hope for the future. Not reconciliation, not revenge, just stability. And there's another truth she let slip. She's tired of being associated with Offset. She said, I filed for divorce a year ago. That should be very clear. I don't deal with that. I don't mess with that. I don't have no contact with that. Those words cut deep because they show just how much she wants to move forward with her own identity, separate from the man who defines so much of her. Section 7, conclusion. So why doesn't Cardi see it as a waste? Because wasted time is time you don't learn from. And she learned plenty. About love, about betrayal, about herself. She walked away with scars, yes, but also with music, children, and a clearer vision of her future. In her own words, it is what it is. If your heart is not ready, it's just not ready. That honesty explains everything. She didn't stay out of pride, and she didn't leave with regret. She simply accepted the truth and moved forward. 7 years may sound like a long time to lose, but Cardi B doesn't see loss. She sees lessons. And maybe that's the real power of her story. The marriage didn't define her. The ending didn't break her. If anything, it reminded her who she was all along.